Alright guys, so we just finished with NumPy. Alright, so that's all for that. You can still save that work, go to your home page. Let's go to Pandas. So dealing with Pandas, alright, we're going to be using this file. Now to get this file, just go to your data science O2, get Pandas for machine learning, move it here. Alright, then come here again, open Pandas. So this is the library we are going to be using. We might not touch scikit-learn, just NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. Those are the three basic libraries we are going to be using. Alright, so for Pandas, Pandas is one of the most powerful libraries. You use Pandas to clean your data. You use Pandas to massage your data. That's the word in data science, massage. You use Pandas to feature engineer your data. Because Pandas as a library has powerful tools, alright, powerful functions. You use Pandas to look at many of the uses here. In Pandas you have series and data frames, alright. In Pandas you can load your data sets either in CSV format or JSON format. In Pandas you can connect to databases and collect data from databases, alright. When you want to work on a company's database and get their data, you can just connect to their database. If it's SQL, connect to SQL database, SQL database, SQL with Pandas, and from here your Jupyter notebook or your code, alright. Then you can use Pandas for descriptive statistics. You can use it for assessing subsets of data, rows, columns, filters. You can use Pandas to undo missing data. You can use Pandas to drop rows and columns that you don't want to use. You can use Pandas to also drop and fill, alright, missing data. You are cleaning your data, remember, for missing data. You can use Pandas for function applications such as to map, to apply, to group by, rolling string. We are going to be using all these things. You can use Pandas to create pivot tables. You can use Pandas to merge columns, to join columns, to join tables, data frames, merge data frames, to concatenate columns, to normalize JSON. So Pandas is very, very powerful. So in using Pandas, the very first thing is to import your Pandas library, and it's always a good ethic, alright, to, whenever NumPy is always the first, alright, it's always the first library. Many of them, they depend on NumPy, because along the way you might want to use some mathematical operations here in your Pandas, and you will need NumPy. So always import your NumPy first. Then the second thing you will want to import is your Pandas. So you are saying import NumPy as NP, import Pandas as PD. Alright, so and all. Then you have two object types for Pandas, as we talked about. You have series and data frames. Series represents one column. Then if you want to combine multiple columns to create a table, you have data frames. So series represents one column, then data frame represents multiple columns. Alright, so an example is this PD, that's your Pandas, right? PD.series, this is a function. Series and the function that is an object type also. Series, if you open this, okay, then normally this is how it's meant to be, just like this PD. Then you brought out this series, okay, then let's put it back. Then you put in your data. You are defining, you are putting a single column. This is a column. When you see this square bracket, just know what should come to your mind is that, okay, we are dealing with columns. All right, when you see square bracket like this, remember when we're talking about lists, this is a list, also a column. All right, when we want to create a column, we use the list to create a column. So we created this list and we stored it in the variable data. That is all. So all these things are further codes for it. So we said index. At our index, that is all these things you are seeing here, A, B, C, D, E. We are saying index lists A, B, C, D, E. All right, to match each of them. So that was what happened there. If we remove this whole line of code, I just want to show you what is important and what's not important. So shift enter. Okay, name PD is not defined. It is not defined. So let's try running this again. Let's come here. Alright, so whenever you see something like that, PD is not defined, just go back to where that thing is, shift enter, run it, then come back here, run it. Alright, or before you start working on the Jupyter notebook, you come here to kernel, then restart and run all. Alright, so that's what happened here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the column. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't bother about this thing. It just give you the data type, telling you this is an integer 64 bit. Alright, this 0, 1, 2 is just helping you to number everything. This column, this is single column. Alright, then you can go on and on. This is another example of series, the same thing. This is a column. Alright, then when you want to create a database from this above series, we have two series up there. Now you want to create a data frame, a data frame from these two series. It's very possible. We stored everything in SER1, SER2. Now in a data frame, it combines multiple. This is your colon. It combines this your colon. This is everything here. Just this. Alright. This is just an index to numbering your work. So for data frame, it combines two series. It combines two or more columns. So you can say PD bring out data frame. Notice you can't say small d. Alright. It's capital D now. That is how this is a function, and this is how it is written. You'll find more of this in Python's documentation. So after you do this, it's normally meant to be like this. Alright, so you can say Ctrl V again. Then we open this array. Okay, this array, and because when you are just dealing with a single column, you can use the square bracket for lists. When you are dealing with multiple columns or multiple lists, you use this array. Okay, then after making the array, you can say something like you start mapping them, series 1, series 2. So you are mapping series 1 to A and series 2 to B. You separated them with a comma. So what is going to happen? You're going to create a data frame table. This is the title, the heading of this column for series 1. This is the heading of the column for series 2. Alright, you can say A and small a, you can say B and small b. If we run this, it's giving us an error because this name series 2 is not defined. So we have to go back, shift enter. Alright, then come back here, shift enter. Alright, so to avoid all these things, just come to your kernel, restart and run all, to avoid all those errors, because it has been long since so you have your A, B, B, right? So you have them like this. Okay. Depending on how you want it. So it's going to list everything down for you. Going to list everything down for you. Now let's try removing this. This colon simply means map, meaning we are mapping series 1 to this title, we are mapping this to this title. So this is how it is used, so you can get used to it. We can add another, we are still the array, we can add another column, let's call it C. Alright, let's give it this and let's leave it like this. Let's see. Okay, there's an error, we're just trying to test something. Okay, let's duplicate this series 2, so you can see this is the third column. So we can continue going on and on and on. You see, everything is now in a data frame. This is how it works. So data frames and all, you can actually specify for your index. You can actually create a data frame, specify your data, alright, that you want. You are now applying NumPy. So you are now saying, meaning you want to fill all these numbers. How did they come about? You want to fill these cells with these numbers, so you can generate them randomly. You are saying NumPy, from NumPy bring out random, from random bring out rand integers. Alright, these are rand integers. So it's going to bring out all these things for you. From one, you're going to generate random numbers, random integer numbers, from meaning integer numbers, no dots, just single numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so you're going to generate numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, then what's the size? 10, 10, meaning we have 10 here, we have 10 here. Alright, that is the size. If we say 12, look at the error. The shape indices imply shape of past value. Is this okay? Of course that is the shape, but that's not the size, because if we are changing this, we have to adjust this, we have to adjust this also. So let's just stay with it. Let's just stay with 10. So J, you can see that if we are saying 10 by 12, meaning by the time it's after J, it's going to continue 2 places, but there will be no labeling for it after J, K, L, right? So that's why it gave us an error, but we can actually say K, L. Can actually say KL, right? Then you can do this. Whoops, give us an error again. Indices imply 12 by 12. So we'll have to be adjusting again and again. So that's how. So you now see 12, 12. So you have to listen to, follow the instructions and corrections. So you've updated this, now KL, right? Then apart from that, you can actually put instead of this is another way of generating numbers, or you could just put a list of items, right? You could just put a list of items there. Then you can put a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 corresponding with the numbers here, the number of items here, alphabets. Then when you say index, these are parameters for the data frame. This data frame is a function. Then inside the function you have parameters. You have your data parameter, you have your index parameter, your column parameter. For your index, you are saying list A, B, C, D. Index is like your numbering for everything here, and that's what you did here, right? Then comma, you separate with a comma. Then comma, another parameter is colons equals to list A, B, C, D, L. So your colons is for the top, your index is for the side. So you can play around this on your row. Then the next thing is loading CSV and JSON. These are different file formats. So when you are loading, I told you about this some time ago. When you are loading a CSV, alright, so when you are loading in, when you want to load in your raw data, alright, so you say PD, that's your Pandas library. From your Pandas library, you are using this dot notation to bring out functions, alright. So in your Pandas library, one of them is the read function, and you can read CSV, you can read Excel, you can read this just for CSV. If what you are reading is a CSV, you say CSV. If what you are reading is Excel, there's a function for Excel. We are going to come to that. If what you are reading is a text file, there's a function for that. If what you are reading is a Word file, there's a function for that. So read CSV. Let's delete what is here. Right, then let's remember we created our data set, and our data set had this, right? It had this. Now let's come here and copy the name of that CSV. Alright, we just want to copy this name. Now let's go back. You see this, after opening your read underscore CSV, it's a constant function to read in a raw data set. Now paste that, but if you do it like this and say shift enter, it's going to give you error. So remember this is in a folder, so you have to follow the path. You have to say data set. Remember where we are coming from. It's in data. This is where our code is. This is where we are now. So from here we have to first go to data set folder before we can access that CSV file, right? So that's what we have to do. We have to say data set / CSV. Some formats take /, but you always find out by trial and error. Okay, now we did this and it worked for us, right? We've been able to source and follow the paths, and we stored the raw data inside our HRO. Now let's come here. Okay, now let's just go down and say HRO underscore data. Now this is our data, made up of rows, these are the rows, right? These are the columns. You can see from 0 to 4, then this dot means there are many more between 4 and 4,000 and something. So there are many more. So if you look at the size of this data, of this file, you see that we have 4,803 rows, 4 columns. So we have movie ID, title, cast, crew. So we've started our work already. We are getting closer to the main. So it stored everything in this variable. Then we're now reading it. So this is how it is. Okay, this is how the file is. You can see how messy it is, everything. So we have to arrange all these, right, and select the ones we want and the ones we don't want. Okay, so this is how to read and load in. It's called loading in a file. This is how to read and load in a file. It's constant. We are going to be using that a lot. After importing NumPy, importing Pandas, the next thing is to read. Okay, there's a format to that. The next thing is to load in and read in your file. After obtaining your data, you load in and read in your file and all. Then the next thing, after getting something like this, you want to get more information about this data set. Okay, just come here, insert cell below. Now let's learn more about this. Let's say hr underscore data dot head. I told you before, when you say head, you are trying to say list the first number of columns, the first number of rows you specify. If you don't specify anything, it's going to, and you say shift enter, you're going to list the first 5. But if you say 10, you're going to list the first 10 rows of that data set. Alright, then if you go on, you say 100, it's going to list everything for you. Okay, then if you say tail, let's add another cell. Take note of all these things. We are getting closer to the real parts now. hr underscore data dot tail. This thing is very important. It means you are very important. This bracket here means we are trying to output something or receive something. We are trying to output something. So shift enter. You see that it brought out the last 5 rows of the data set. So head will bring out the first 5 rows, tail will bring out the last 5 rows. If you say tail 10, it will bring out the last 10 rows. Okay, the last 10 rows and all. If you say 5, the same thing is going to bring out the last 5. If you say nothing, the last 5. So when you are trying to explore your data, finding more information about your data, one thing you do is when you say hr underscore data and you say info, alright, and you say info, then you put this open and close bracket, enter. It's going to give us information, or the information we need for that data set. Now it's telling us, okay, data and Pandas core frame, data frame. Alright, that's true. Index range, it's saying we have 4,803 entries. That's true. From 0 to 4,802. I mean that is the actual count from 0 to 802. You can see that more information. Data columns, it's saying we have 4 columns. Okay, columns, then this is the index 0 to 3. Then 4 columns, these are the 4 columns. We have movie IDs, the IDs of each of the movie, the titles of each of the movie, the cast, the cast of it, and each of the movies, a character. This is Buzzy, this is Oliver, is a character, right? Then the crew, made up of the credit, ID, and all of that. Then you have the count, the data type. Now this is where we are going to be doing a lot of cleaning, because you can see that the data type for movie ID it's given to us as integer. Why? Because they are just numbers, straight numbers, so they are integers. But for titles, cast, crew, these are characters, these are alphabet words mixed. So they are objects. These are data types, they are objects. So for us to work with all these things, most of the times we have to clean our data. We have to feature engineer these things from one data type to another data type. We have to move everything to numerical format so that it will ease our modeling and our work. Alright, so these are the things you take note of. Memory size, like 3 KB and all. Alright, so you keep on reading. These are to read again. Then you can use a for loop. You can see how it works. For HRO data, in HRO, now they read another thing and they stored it here. Alright, this is being read and it's stored there. Then you are now saying for HRO underscore data in HRO underscore data underscore IT arrow, right? Prints this dot info. We just finished with the info, meaning loop over each of the entries. Alright, loop over each of the entries in our data set, meaning each of the rows, and give me info, give me information, give me info for each of the entries, each of the rows, and that's what it's doing here. So this, just remember your for loop, that's how it works. You can, instead of this HRO data, don't let it confuse you, it's anything. You can actually say for HRO in this, it's the same thing, meaning whatsoever is this will be, simply means each of the elements in this place, and we're talking about the rows. So print hr.info, alright, and it's meant to print that. Okay, let's highlight this. HR is not defined. HR is not defined. Alright, so well, that's the point. HR in data. So you can actually loop over. So another example, let's say Control V. Okay, this is what we have now. So it's connected with this. Alright, it's the same thing here. This time around, this same thing, we are looping over what this document that we have here now. So that's for that. Then connecting to database, we're not going to be touching this. That's outside our curriculum, but you have this to work with on your own. So these are data frames look like, combination of multiple columns, right? Then this is how it is. So just take note, you are reading, you are showing the head, the detail, the information. There's another thing known as describe. Okay, describe is going to give a description about that data set. It's going to describe your data set. Let's try running it. So describe is describing everything for us. It's telling us the counts we have. It's telling us we have a total of 4,803 rows. Telling us the mean of movie ID. The mean, or the, when you talk about the numbers there, bring all the numbers together. The mean value is this. The standard deviation is this. Is how far apart it is. The minimum value is 5. the maximum value for movie ID is this. So you can add this is a percentile, alright, percentile 25%, 50%, 75%. So these are descriptive information you may need when working with your data. They help to give you further insights. Alright, this is one of the first thing you do. You look at your data, right? Now let's see something like this. And this HRO, what actually happened here is that HRO underscore data is the same data set. Okay, this dot simply means describe this. Alright, and there's an open and close bracket, also open and close bracket. So we can actually say HRO underscore data dot salary value count. So what we are saying, telling it in this data set, pick out the salary column, then count the values there, give us a count of everyone with salary. Okay, data frame has no object salary. Alright, so but that's what happens. You can actually get a hold of a column like this and tell it to give you this a function, meaning value underscore counts, then open and close bracket. It will go to the column where it's titled salary, and it's going to count all the rows in that column that has a salary value. Then the ones that are missing is going to discard those ones and give you the total counts. Alright, but because we don't have a column like that, that's why it's not working. Okay, this is an example now. This HRO data set, everything, we are saying okay, dot from this HRO data set, give me movie ID column. Then it got hold of that movie ID column. Alright, we're now saying okay, this movie ID column dot, that is this dot, that's what it means. This movie ID column is give me the total counts. So say 1 1 1 1 1 1 everything. So you get to have knowledge of things like that. Then head and all. Okay, head the first 5. Then when you want to, these are columns. Alright, you can just say HR underscore data dot columns. When you say dot columns, it's going to list out. Okay, let's try it. Dot columns is going to list out all the columns in that data set. You are just saying this data from this data set, give me the columns. Now notice this doesn't have open and close, it's just columns. And you can see movie ID column, title column, cast column, crew column, right? If you remember, look at the data. Movie ID column, title column, cast, crew column. So you just play around your data like this, get to understand this. I want you, after this Pandas module, go through everything, every single thing here yourself. Play with every single thing here yourself, columns and everything. Then satisfaction level and all. Let's open this to see what we have. Okay, this was meant to be, let's go. Alright, you use this when you want to you want to list out many columns for it to show. Alright, and you want to show the heads, the first 5 rows of all these columns, but these don't exist inside. So let's form ours. Alright, normally it's like this. I told you about when you have HR that's called data, something like this, you have the data set variable, data set name, right? Where you stored in the raw data set. Now, this colon, open and close bracket, you are simply saying, I want to get hold of the columns there, so you can, inside of it, open another column, another square bracket inside, then say movie. Let's copy all this column here, the way we have it, instead of typing everything, paste it. You see that now it's going to give us the respective columns we call. Let's remove cast, for instance. Let's say, okay, we just want to see only these columns, right? Then Control, then Shift, Enter, just 3 columns. Okay, let's say we just need to show movie and titles. You can now see movie, title, avatar. So here, this is the movie ID, this. So that's how it works. Just take note of all these things. There's no really further explanation here. You just need to look at it, know it, practice it. That's how you get familiar with all these things. .head, right? Then you can actually store this thing. You can actually, we can actually update this old data set. We can actually update the old data set with this new finding. You can actually say HRO_data again, then equal to the result of this is going to be stored here, and it's going to update this old data set. Meaning, if our data set was having all these columns, it's just going to be this. We're going to update everything again. That's why when you are doing something like this, it's good to copy, make a photocopy. There's a way to do that. You make a photocopy so that you can be working on one and you can save your raw data set. So in case anything happens, you can always refer back. Okay, you can always refer back. And all, dropping colon. So you can actually drop and you have the drop now. Okay, for drop now, when you want to drop a column, you can just say, now if you do this on your own, okay, read in the Titanic data set here. Alright, they're just random things here. Read the Titanic data set here, get the information, then you can now drop. You say dot drop, just simple dot drop, then open this normal bracket first, then put the colon. What you are saying is that they should drop. There's a colon called cabin. What you are saying is that they should drop that colon called cabin, meaning they should remove it. Okay, they should remove it. Alright, so it's just that simple. So you can go on and on manipulating data. So everything here is set and prepared for you. All you have to do is that put real data part here, then start running all these things, Control Shift, understand them yourself. So you have 2 assignments now. Go through everything in NumPy, run that whole notebook, everything there, then Pandas, run everything here. Okay, then you have other sheets also, other file sheets also, run them, go through them. Then you can now see what I was talking about. After dropping, see drop now. After dropping, you can drop columns, or when you are having missing values. Another way of approaching handling missing data is filling the missing ones. I told you about that. And you can fill it with the mean, fill it with the median. So you can say titanic.info, of course you get the information, but it's giving us error because we've not yet run this one, but you have to fill it with the real data sets. Alright, you have to fill it with the real data set there. So you'll be able to drop columns and you'll be able to fill columns. This fill NA is meant to just be normal F fill, but fill NA, you are saying this NA simply means NaN or new, right? Meaning fill, what that fill NA simply means, fill all those parts, all those cells that are empty. Fill all those cells that are empty. Meaning for column age, fill those empty cells under column age, fill it with 0. Then those empty cells under column embarked, fill it with unknown, and give me information about it. That's what you are saying here. Then handling duplicates. You can now say you've stored everything here. Let's run it. Let's open this. This. You remember what we did? These are different columns, 3 columns. We've shown it here, duplicated. We want to now show everything that was duplicated here. Meaning 0, nothing was duplicated. Okay, 0 saying false. 1 saying false, 2 false, 3 false, 4 false, but this 5th place is saying true. When we have duplicates here, right? You can always get information. Let's run this too. Meaning this duplicate, this what you did here to get, what you are saying is that from this data frame where my this data frame, meaning this variable where I stored my data, bring out duplicated cells from it, bring out the cells that have duplicates. Then it's going to highlight all those for you. Then you can copy all these and put it back in the data frame for it to bring it out for you inside the data frame pattern. Okay, yeah, it just gave us in a boolean pattern, but yeah, you can get it in a data frame manner, right? You are putting everything back here, so you got it like this. So it's going to just highlight the ones that are duplicated, and that is just only 5 that is true. That's why you have it like this, on and on. Then you can run this on your own. And all like that. You can look at all these things. Group by. When we talk about group by, we're going to deal with all these things again. We're going to come back to Titanic again. Okay, so run all these things. When you say group by, you are simply saying, okay, let's run this one. Group by sex dot age dot mean, right? So this sex is the index, and what's that? Female male. The female male is now giving you the mean age. Meaning you are saying, give us the group this Titanic by sex. Meaning just bring out the sex column and the subset there. So you brought out the sex column, brought out female male, right? Then dot age, you're now saying based on this male female, give me the age, the mean of the age of the males and the females. So that's what happened here. Then specify that the data type is float. Alright, so you can go again, group by sex or any column as far the column exists in this data sheet. You can say aggregate, then put it in a list. Right, mean max. So this is how aggregate looks like, meaning after doing it like this for grouping by female and male, the aggregate simply means it's going to put everything on top like this for you, okay, and it's going to give you, you're going to aggregate all these things based on age, and it's going to give you the mean value of age, the minimum age point, and the maximum age, the minimum age, maximum age for male, female, male, female. So all these things, just go through them. You have to stay with these things yourself, learn these things, understand them. This dictionary, if you remember. Now look at how to read in Excel. pd.read_Excel, right? Then you can read Excel file. You can read CSV, it's for CSV file, this Excel for Excel file, and so on. So I want you to go through all these things again yourself and get familiar with them. So let's save our work. Checkpoint created, date and time. So that is all for now, guys.